If you're shopping at a Publix this afternoon, beware. You may be accused of supporting child murder. There's a die-in scheduled for 4 p.m. Gun control diva David Hogg has called on people to go to a Publix and lie on the floor for 12 minutes. Clean up on aisle 5, and 6, and 12. It's to protest the grocery store's support of gubernatorial candidate Adam Putman, who's a big NRA guy. I suggest buying a box of delicious Publix fried chicken and asking the would-be corpse to get up and discuss the issue over a nice drumstick. A calm, respectful dialogue is the only way we'll ever achieve sensible gun control, whatever that means. But since February's Parkland shooting, the most famous and influential survivor has reduced a complex problem to a simple morality play. It's good, Hogg, vs. evil, anyone who disagrees with him. Hogg has skyrocketed to fame since the massacre at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High. He's done all the TV shows, made the cover of Time, scored a book deal and racked up 800,000 Twitter followers. Kudos to any 17-year-old for accomplishing all that. Hogg is a compelling and passionate spokesman for the cause. I just wish he'd realize his anguish did not make him the fount of all truth and wisdom. Can we please not debate this as Democrats and Republicans but discuss this as Americans? In the comments, if you see someone you disagree with, do not attack each other, talk to one another. This applies to me too. We must work together to save our future. That was atop his Twitter account Thursday afternoon. If Hogg believes in civil discourse to solve differences, he's had an odd way of showing it. He rips the NRA for supposedly bribing and bullying Congress, but he's gung-ho to economically cripple a grocery store. In an interview with The Outline, Hogg called the NRA a group of pathetic FERS that want to keep killing our children. As for anyone who accepts an NRA contribution, it just makes me think what sick FERS out there want to continue to sell more guns, murder more children, and honestly just get re-elected. What type of S-type person does that? They could have blood from children splattered all over their faces and they wouldn't take action, because they all still see these dollar signs. At the March for Our Lives, he wowed protesters carrying signs calling Sen. Marco Rubio #KidKiller and #NRABH when he stuck a red price tag on his jacket. It read $1.05, which he wore as a reminder for you guys to know how much Marco Rubio took for every student's life in Florida. Rubio had reached out to Parkland victims and supported the Stop School Violence Act and the Fix NICS Act. When asked later, on, of all places, CNN, if he'd been a bit too provocative about Rubio, Hogg said he hadn't been provocative enough. Perhaps Hogg's lack of self-awareness is partially due to the gushing treatment he's been given by the CNNs and adults thrilled to have him do their bidding. Michael Bloomberg just awarded Hogg something called the American Spirit Award for citizen activism at a shindig in New York. Being young and a school shooting survivor has made Hogg criticism-proof in his followers' eyes. Hogg says he speaks for a generation and will lead a revolution. The fact is he doesn't speak for every Parkland student. He doesn't even speak for every David Hogg. There's a 16-year-old in North Carolina with the same name. He was mistaken for Florida's Hogg so often, sadly, much of it was misdirected hate mail from gun rights loonies, that he wrote an article for the Wall Street Journal. He wrote that he supports gun rights but respects his namesake's passion, and that he shares a commitment to solving the gun problem. I urge Florida's Mr. Hogg to listen to people with differing views, he wrote, because he would want them to listen to him. Real solutions take listening and learning and at least some degree of humility. It's far easier to just demagogue and demonize, which brings us back to Publix. It's a proud Polk County product, just like Putnam. The company's $670,000 worth of support stems far more from Putnam's his pro-business positions than his NRA support. Publix said it has never donated to that organization. My guess is the 1,800 employees who own the company have the usual divergent views about gun control. And I'm quite sure none support blood-splattered child killers. But the frenzy to make the NRA radioactive and the root of all evil means everyone remotely associated with it must be targeted, their livelihoods threatened or their shopping turned into far less than a pleasure. All of which has left dear old Publix in a no-win situation. It put out a statement saying it regrets its donations to Putnam have caused an unintentional customer divide. But there's also a hashtag support Publix movement, so to gain absolution from Hogg & Co. would trigger an unintentional customer divide the other way. It's hard to say where all this will lead, other than advancing Hogg's career and lining him up for another citizen activism award. That's probably good enough for Hogg. The young oracle cannot grasp that telling Publix to drop dead is no way to advance the discussion he claims to seek.